Welcome to ECAF Indonesia 2020 Goes Online. This is University Webinar Series. My name is Puji and I'm going to be moderating this webinar. This webinar is going to be presented by Limerick Institute of Technology. We already have the representative of Limerick Institute of Technology. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Thank you very much for having me.
All right, welcome, lovely to meet you. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yes, so my name is Karen McAvinue. I am the Asia Regional Manager here at Limerick Institute of Technology in Ireland. I'd also like to welcome Yeni, who is from MEC, who is our partner in Indonesia, who will be assisting with Q&A at the end. And am I ready to go?
Yeah, just a little bit of message before we can start. For the audience, please stay tuned until the end of the webinar because we will have hold a Q&A session. And if you have any questions about the presentation or anything related to Ireland's higher education, you can submit your questions in the YouTube live chat section anytime throughout the presentation. And now please welcome Ms. Karen McAdney.
Perfect, thank you very much. So like I mentioned, my name is Karen McAvinue from Limerick Institute of Technology, and I'm here today to tell you about some of the amazing graduate opportunities you can get from studying right here at LIT in Ireland. So I think a lot of you already might not be very familiar with Ireland, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ireland, about Limerick, and about LIT. And I'll start off by basing where we are in the world. So you'll see here our map of Europe, and you'll see Ireland right beside the UK. Now we're not part of the UK, which is key to remember. And in Ireland, we are in the southwest, in a really, really beautiful region. You'll get a peek of it in a moment here. Ireland isn't a very big country physically. So where we're based, Limerick in that red area, it's just about 2 hours from our capital city of Dublin. So it means that, you know, while you're studying here, you can travel, you can see the whole country, and it really is very accessible for you to kind of travel around and experience all of Ireland while you study here. So why would you choose Ireland? Why is Ireland the best choice for studying abroad? So, well, first of all, Ireland is a proud member of the European Union. So we're not taking part in Brexit, we are staying in the EU. We are actually the largest English-speaking country in the European Union. These two things are very important because it just means a lot of companies are coming to us for investment. We have a lot of European headquarters based in Ireland, which means lots of opportunities for you. We're also world recognized for our excellence in education. So that means when you get a degree or a master's degree from Ireland, it's recognized all around the world. And no matter where you go, people know it's a really high quality degree to get. So like I mentioned earlier, because we're a member of the European Union, we are home to many of the world's most successful globally traded companies. So Google, Facebook, Apple, and many, many more companies all have their European headquarters right here in Ireland, and they're always seeking our graduates. We are also the second largest exporter of software in the world. And we are the second largest exporter of medical technology in Europe. So again, really, really great opportunities, particularly in these areas, which we have many, many programs in. We're among the top 10 safest countries in the world. So for any parents who are, you know, concerned about their child studying so far away, they can rest easy knowing Ireland is a very, very safe country to live in. And again, about the opportunities that Ireland offers you, we offer a minimum 12-month post-study work permit for international students. That can go right up to 2 years then if you do a master's degree. And what that means is that when you finish your degree, there are no conditions. You can stay for at least 12 months seeking a job, starting your career. And if you want to stay even longer than that, you can apply for a work permit after that. But at least that means you'll get your international work experience at least for 12 months after you graduate. As well as that, you can work part-time while you study, up to 20 hours per week. So, you know, if you want to have a little bit of extra money, you know, for maybe traveling when we're able to travel again, or to put towards your living costs, you can work part-time. Ireland does offer a very high minimum wage. It's about €10.30 per hour at the moment, and I do believe it's actually due to possibly go up soon. But we offer a very generous minimum wage here in Ireland that can, work really, really well for students. So then you've chosen Ireland. Why are you going to choose Limerick City to study in? So Limerick is Ireland's third largest city. So we're a nice busy place to live, and we are the commercial capital of the Midwest region. We're located only 15 minutes away from an international airport, so very easy to access from around the world. We're within Europe's top 10 cities in attracting investment, growth, and opportunity. So again, it's all about thinking ahead when you're graduating, and Limerick is a really, really great place to do that because we have a huge amount of investment and are seeking graduates. We are awarded the European City of the Future in 2017, and we've been globally recognised by UNESCO for learning excellence. So just, some key points about why Limerick is just such a great city to learn in. We're also very much a student-oriented city. So 20% of our population in Limerick City are students. So it means lots and lots of friends for you to meet, a really lively atmosphere, as well as that we're a very old but young city. So you'll see in our picture here, our medieval castle, that's at the center of our city. So physically, it's a very, very old city with amazing culture and amazing things to see. But nearly 50% of our population are under 35. So it's a very young population in the city. So again, lots of, friends to be made and people to meet while you study there. And a key and crucial part of why Limerick City is an amazing place to study is that has lower living costs compared to other Irish cities. So it's up to 50% more affordable than our capital city of Dublin. So your money goes much, much further in Limerick City. So you can, do your part-time job and earn your living costs, and it'll go far, far further than it might in other Irish cities. Then why LIT? Why would you want to study LIT? And there are many, many reasons why you should consider LIT to study. So we are one of the fastest growing colleges in Ireland. And actually studying in LIT in 2021 is a really exciting time to come and study with us because we are actually scheduled to become a technological university in September 2021. So you'll be applying to study at LIT, but you'll actually be graduating from Ireland's next technological university. So it's a really exciting opportunity for you to be, part of this really, really exciting journey for us. We currently have almost 7,000 students across 120 courses from bachelor's right up to PhD. So you can have your full educational journey at LIT. And some of the nice aspects as well are that we have smaller class sizes and active learning, a practical approach to study. So this means you get, really concentrated attention from your lectures. You're learning by doing. So rather than, being in a lecture theatre of maybe 200 students and, hearing about the theory of, what you'd be doing in a job, you're in a class of no more than 15, 16 students and learning by actually doing what you'd be doing in your job. You've amazing access to your lecturers. So if you have any issues at all, that means, they're right there to help you with anything that you might need help with. We also offer built-in mandatory work placements in most of our programs. So again, it's all about the learning by doing and then putting it to use. So in the third year of your program, you get to go out and go on a work placement and actually practice what you've been learning as part of your program. And that all just makes you a really, really attractive graduate to employers. All of our programs are industry-led then. So it means when we're designing our programs, we're asking the industry, what do they want from a graduate? And we're making sure that we're delivering it on our programs. All of these things added together lead to us having the highest employment rate for an institute outside of Dublin. So, paired with our lower living costs, having that city life and an incredibly high employment rate, LIT really is an excellent place to choose to study. So a little bit more about us then. We have a number of campuses. We are a multi-campus institute. So depending on what you're studying, you'll be studying in different parts of the Midwest of Ireland. So Moylish is our main campus, and it's home to our Faculty of Applied Science, Engineering and Technology, and our Faculty of Business and Humanities. It's also where I'm based. So if you're ever need to meet me, then you can come meet me there. Clare Street then is our art and design campus, so it's home to our world-renowned School of Art and Design. Our fashion program has been named in the top 50 in the world, so it's, if you are interested in art and design type programs, LSAD is truly one amazing place to study. Then we have our smaller satellite campuses. So Thurles is located about 1 hour from Limerick City, and it's focused on sports, our state-of-the-art sports facilities. Clonmel then is our hub of creative technology. So digital animation production, game art and design, these types of programs are taking place in Clonmel. And Cuna is our brand new campus, which is due to open, all going well. Hopefully COVID doesn't slow it down too much. It is due to open hopefully next year. So I'll give a quick run through of our programs that we offer as well. I won't go through everything in detail, but you can see some of our offerings and the departments that we have. So in our Faculty of Business and Humanities, we have a Department of Business and Financial Services, which has things like accounting and finance and your straight business programs. Our faculty, then our Department of Sport, Leisure and Tourism has event management, sports management, culinary arts, some really great programs focused on these kind of tourism, leisure areas where you might have some interest in that. Then our Department of Applied Social Science. So if you're interested in something like early childhood care and education or social care work, this is the department for you. And our Department of Marketing, Enterprise and Digital Communications. So things like digital marketing, enterprise and innovation. Then our Limerick School of Art and Design. Our first year of Art and Design is quite a unique program. So if you're coming from high school and you want to study art and design, you don't actually have to make your decision on what you want to major in straight away. You can do our first year of Art and Design, which gives you the opportunity to try all 8 of these disciplines listed on the screen in front of you. So you can try painting, photography, print, sculpture, ceramics, animation, graphics, and fashion. You get to try all 8 of these for the first semester of your first year. Then you'll choose your top 3. And after you then do your second semester of the top 3, you choose one major that you'll do for the next 3 years and get your ultimate degree in. And it's just great because it means that, some students aren't certain of what they want to study beforehand, so they can try everything. And some students really do think they know what they want to do, but they actually then decide after trying different things that, maybe I thought I wanted to do fashion, but I actually really love graphic design or photography, and they can then continue and do their major in that. We then also offer some ab initio programs, so programs that from year 1 to 4 are the same program. So fashion and textiles, creative broadcast and film production, visual effects for film and TV. Limerick is a really exciting place to study these type of kind of film and broadcast programs because we actually have Europe's largest indoor film studio right here in Limerick City. So, it's a great place where you can get your work experience and, start your career. Then our largest faculty is our Faculty of Applied Science, Engineering and Technology. In this, we have our Department of Applied Sciences. So like I mentioned, medical technology, pharmaceuticals are 2 huge industries in Ireland, and our programs do reflect that. So you have your medical technology, your pharmaceutical science, then you have some really relevant ones at the moment, like your environmental science and climate. So really exciting programs in our Applied Sciences department. Then another massive one is our Department of Information Technology. So again, a huge industry in Ireland. And our programs are always making sure they're keeping up to date with the latest developments. So something more general like software development, or something more focused, maybe like data analytics and cybersecurity, where there's a growing need for these areas in companies these days. Then our Department of Built Environment. These programs are really interesting because the first 4 programs you see there, construction management, quantity surveying, property valuation, and civil engineering management, they all offer a 12-month paid work placement in year 3 of the program. So it means, you're like learning by doing for your first 2 years, but in year 3, you're getting a full 12 months of work experience. And that work experience actually goes towards your chartership as well. So it's a really invaluable work experience. And then we have some other really exciting areas like architectural technology is a brand new program interior design, energy management, or other great programs in this area. Then our engineering areas, so electrical and electronic and mechanical and automobile engineering. Again, you'll see some very relevant programs currently like renewable energy and precision engineering. So some really, really exciting areas that are very relevant in Ireland. And of course, we offer postgraduate programs as well. So you can complete your bachelor's at LIT and go on to a master's. So in our business and humanities, you can do things like marketing and management strategy. We have a brand new master's actually now in data analytics, which is, one of the fastest growing areas for employment in the world. We also offer some art and design masters, so interdisciplinary design practice, and applied science, engineering and technology. We have a Master of Science in quantity surveying and higher diplomas in computing with software development. We've ran through all of our programs there, but what do you need to access these programs? So our entry requirements, so we have a foundation program. So if students haven't met the year one entry requirements by their grades, they can do our foundation program. Our year one IELTS requirement is 5.5. Anything past year one is 6.0. Then in terms of academics, we seek a 70% average at your high school examination for year one entry. Advanced entry, we do offer advanced entry and transfers from diplomas or bachelors from Indonesia, and it is a case-by-case basis. So we just seek to do suitable mapping into the program. And then for access to our master's programs, we seek a 3.0 GPA. And then, once you've met the entry requirements and you want to come to LIT, how much does it cost to study here? So our undergraduate bachelors are €10,250, and our master's degrees go up to 11,250, which is highly, affordable for a master's degree in an English-speaking country. We do offer scholarships and bursaries. So students who pay all fees before May 1st, 2021 are eligible for a €1,000 reduction in their fees. We do also have a limited number of merit-based president scholarships of an additional €1,000. So you can reduce your fees by up to 20% through these scholarships. Then we'll look at the overall cost of living for an undergraduate student. So we include our tuition fees at the full cost with no scholarships. Accommodation for a full year, that's inclusive of your utilities and bills and things like that. Your immigration registration, you do have to register with the Immigration Bureau in Ireland when you arrive here. And health insurance, you're required to have health insurance as part of your visa requirements to study in Ireland. And things like your food and your social life, these can go up or down depending on the life you want to live. But this is the average from speaking to our students, what they're spending on their food and social life. And you're looking at an annual total of just less than €18,000. That can again go down by your scholarship. So you can reduce it by €2,000 on a scholarship. And you can, of course, work part-time. Like I mentioned, it's over €10 per hour to work part-time here in Ireland. So that will very much make a massive dent in your living costs. So then what kind of accommodation are we offering? So our preferred accommodation partners are Thomond Student Village and Cratloe Student Village, and you'll see images of them here. They are private accommodation providers adjacent to our main campus here in Moylish, and it can be booked online and it makes it a very straightforward process. We also do have private accommodation as well if students do want to do that, and you can find more information about that on our website. Of course, students aren't only studying just to study, they do want an entire student experience. And you do have an amazing student experience at LIT. We have an absolutely fantastic international society who are highly involved and have been a great support to our students, even during these times of COVID, where maybe you can't meet physically as much. They're doing lots of online events and online competitions. Right now, they're running a Foods of the World kind of competition where everyone's baking their national dish and submitting it for a competition. So some really great things, even in times of COVID, to support the student experience. We have great student ambassadors who help our students when they first arrive into Ireland, help give them advice on, getting familiar with the city, where to buy your food, where to buy your raincoats, because some students come unprepared for the change in weather. But they're right there to help with all of our students as they arrive in Ireland. So, we can promise a really great student experience here at LIT for our international students. So then what is the application process? How do you apply to study right here at LIT? So you complete an application form and submit the required documents. I'll share our partner in Indonesia, Yeni, I'll share her email address, and she actually assists with this entire application process. But just to give a quick overview of what it entails up. So you complete the application form and submit the requirement documents. If successful and you've met our entry requirements, you will receive what's called a conditional offer letter from LIT. So that will give you, hold your place on condition of you paying your fees or maybe meeting final English language requirements. Then you will place a €500 deposit, which is against your fees, so it comes off of your fees. You'll place that deposit within 30 days to secure your place. We'll hold your place for 30 days, but after 30 days, it could be given away to someone else if a deposit hasn't been placed down. Then after that, you pay your full fee to receive your full offer letter. And your full offer letter then allows you to apply for your visa. The visa is processed in Jakarta, so it makes it a far faster process than it was previously. So, I would recommend paying your full fees sooner rather than later, even if it is a faster process, but it definitely does help, and you get your €1,000 reduction in your fees. So that is all from me today, and I welcome any questions that anyone might have. This is our information. So I have Yeni's information here if you are in Indonesia and want to seek more information from her, and we have her Instagram and our website as well. So if you do want a head start on your career, make it LIT. There are some great opportunities for you here.
Thank you very much, Ms. Karen, for your presentation. It was such an insightful introduction to Limerick Institute of Technology and how to study there. So now let's begin with the Q&A session. First question is about the registration. We have a question from the audience on YouTube asking for those in their final year of high school, can they start their bachelor degree right away, or do they need to take an additional year for pre-uni? I understand that from your presentation, it was more about English requirements, but is there any other things that people need to know?
Yeah, so we will accept students from once they've completed year 12 in high school, and we'll accept them into year 1 of our programs. It's just a 70% average that we seek for year 1 entry. So no, we don't require a foundation year if they have met our entry requirements. If they have fallen below that, then they can do a foundation year. But once you're above 70% average, you can apply to study straight away in year 1.
Right, that's
maybe I can.
Yes, please, Ms. Yeni.
Okay, actually, yes, you are right, Karen. As Karen mentioned, that the entry requirements for grade 12 students is the average of 70 from grade 12 result. But actually, it is Karen will give you a full offer once you finish your high school result, which is from national exam. So once you get it, and you will get the full offer, but you can submit from now if you are interested to study in LIT with grade 12 semester 1 result. You might apply from now with the average 70 from your semester 1. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Karen, Ms. Yeni. So more question. There's one for computer science program. Is there any sandwich program for the computer science program in which students can have work experience in companies?
Yes, like I mentioned, all of our programs, virtually all of our programs do offer a work placement in the 3rd year of the program. So the length will depend on the program, but typically it's 3 to 6, possibly 9 months of work placement. So yes, all of our students do get work experience as part of their program on computer science and other areas.
All right, thank you. So Ms. Yeni earlier have already clarified about application for Indonesian high school graduate with their final exam letters scores, yeah. But what about those with IB or A-level curriculum? Can they apply with prediction score?
Yes, they are
Okay.
able to apply from the predicted result, and LIT will give you the conditional offer. Once you
Nice.
get the actual result, then LIT will give you a full offer.
Right. Okay, so that's that for the bachelor degree related registration questions. So for postgraduate degrees, do applicants need to include recommendation letter from their employers or former lecturers?
Yes, it will absolutely aid with your application to include a letter of recommendation. So we would recommend, and also if you're applying for a business master's, a letter of motivation is encouraged as well from the student. So to why they want to study what they're studying, we often encourage a letter of motivation. This can also assist in your eligibility for a scholarship as well.
Right. So, Ms. Karen, you've already mentioned in your presentation about available scholarship opportunities. And when it comes to funding, other than that, is there any other scholarship opportunities available, especially for Indonesian students to study at LIT?
Yeah, so I suppose the main one that is most popular is the Government of Ireland scholarship. It does offer a full fee waiver and actually an additional living stipend for students. So that opens, I think, early next year will open. So you actually need to apply to study with us before that, and then you apply through a separate portal for the Government of Ireland. Apologies, I need to take a drink of water.
So break the time.
You can that would be the most popular one would be the Government of Ireland scholarship scheme, which does offer a full fee waiver and living stipend as well.
All right. So that's wonderful. Now that we have had questions on registration answered, we would like to have to move on to other theme of the questions, which would be the life as international students in Limerick. So, how is the first month for international students at LIT going to be like in terms of common challenges, things to adapt with, and how to get used to the education systems?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, we're very lucky in LIT that it's very much about small classes. So even in your first weeks, you're in quite a small class size. So if you are finding it challenging, your lecturers are very accessible. You can, approach them if something is challenging for them in the first few weeks. It can be a very different learning environment than they may have had in Indonesia. So it can take some adjusting to, but the support systems are there. The other support system would be the kind of peer support. So from our other international students, we find they're the best help for our new students to help settle in. So we do have, like I mentioned, a great international society who always assist us with our international orientation at the beginning of the year. And they'll run lots of events to, introduce students to each other, help you settle in, make friends, learn the ropes of living in Ireland. We try and give as much guidance as we can, but the peer-to-peer support is the best support that a student can have, where they learn from other students who've been here for a couple of years. They say, no, this is where you can buy the cheapest groceries, or if you want some treats from home, we actually know the best shop in Limerick City where you can get Indonesian food, and they can guide students with that to help them settle a bit more. But yeah, it's LIT is very much about being a community. So we offer supports for educationally, so in the small class sizes, that lectures are very accessible. And then in the international society and our student ambassadors who support our new students entering and guide them through their first few months here.
All right, thank you. So there's another question about how life as international students is like, particularly during this COVID-19 pandemic time. How is it going to look like, or at least what you wish it's going to look like in the next academic year?
So at the moment, like you say, we're in the middle of COVID. We're very lucky in LIT that we have still been able to run some face-to-face classes. So like I mentioned earlier, we're very much about practical learning. So, and because there are small class sizes, it has allowed us to run still some practical classes. So students are doing some of their classes online, but some classes in person. Ultimately, our hope is that students will be able to go back 100% face to face. And as soon as it is safe to do so, that's what we will be returning to. Also, as I mentioned before, in September 2021, we're actually going to become a new entity, which is a next technological university of Ireland. So there will be changes in that side of things as well, that it'll actually be a new institute that will be teaching. But we'll still be very much focused on our small class sizes, our access to lectures, and our practical learning. That's why we're a technological university, because we'll follow that ethos. But ultimately, we hope that we can return fully to face-to-face, teaching. That's our ultimate aim. But like even at this stage where many institutes have gone fully online, LIT has been able to manage some classes still practically on campus, and kept the campus open for students in the safest manner. So we have kept it as safe as possible for staff and students, and still allowed access to classes for smaller practical classes as well. So even no matter what the stages, we've managed to kind of have a balance where the students' education is the ultimate priority.
Right, thank you. That's actually very encouraging to hear, because with plenty of uncertainties around us, it's going to be pretty encouraging for people to see how things at LIT is being run right now, and what you're looking forward to have, especially with you're going to have another campus next year. Yeah, and another question is on the part-time opportunities. As you've mentioned that there are ample of part-time job opportunities around the campus. And in general, how does it look like in Ireland right now during the pandemic, and to what extent it can cover living expenses?
Yeah, so Ireland has a very resilient economy. So we've been through a very tough, sorry, my voice, and we've been through a very tough recession before, and we have bounced back. And again, we're still very resilient, and we're a very agile economy where we, while times are difficult at the moment, and many companies are temporarily closed, as soon as it is safe to do so, they will be opening again. I still do have a lot of students who are working part-time. A lot of supermarkets right now are, they're very, very busy, and they're seeking extra workers. So where students might have normally worked part-time in a restaurant, they'll now be, to have taken on a job elsewhere. But in addition to this, any student who did have a part-time job before the pandemic hit, they're actually still being supported by the Irish government. So the Irish government, anyone who lost a job during COVID-19, whether they're an international student, an Irish student, no matter where they're from, once they had a job before it, they actually got a support of €350 from the Irish government to help with their living costs. So they weren't forgotten about. The Irish government very much values our international students, and understands that many of them take on part-time jobs, and they still help to support them during this crisis. So, well, if some students haven't gotten a part-time job yet since they've returned, they still have been able to be supported by the Irish government.
All right, thank you. So let's look out on the future for a bit and answer questions on life after graduation. So we have a question on the job opportunities like after graduation from LIT, and would there be any on-campus recruitment, or how can the students or recent graduates make use of the support to find employment?
Absolutely. So number one is that we do have a dedicated careers office to help students find their pathways after they graduate. So we have a huge number of industries who will come to our campus seeking our graduates. And we have a number of graduate fairs throughout the year, So for students in the final year of their program, they can meet with these employers and talk with them about potential job opportunities afterwards. Another one is that many of our students, for example, our quantity surveying students, they have gone on placement for their third year. And while on the placement, they've actually received a job offer from the company they're working with after they graduate. So they know that they have a guaranteed job. They return for their final year and then have a job guaranteed after they graduate. So the work placement can be a real step on the ladder in building the connections. And, you know, if your employer really sees potential in you, they will offer you a job after you finish. It's happened with a great number of our students. In addition to this, all of our lecturers, virtually all of our lecturers, have come from industry. So they all have connections in the industry as well. So, you know, if you have a great relationship with your lecturer, then they can assist you with their connections that they know. I know Dave, who works in engineering, and he's seeking a graduate. I'll link you up with him for an interview. Do you know that those kind of things? So because we're so industry focused, there's huge number of opportunities. So like I mentioned, LIT does offer the highest graduate employment opportunities in Ireland outside of Dublin. So it's you know, really great opportunities for our students here, and it is something we really focus on.
Right. Actually, it's really encouraging to hear that you have that level of industry connection. So people who are just graduated, they don't really have to worry that much about life after graduation, especially during the pandemic. It could be pretty challenging, probably even more so, to actually look for a job as a fresh graduate, and that's actually something that is experienced all over the world. How is this the Career Center, for example, have been giving support for the recent graduates?
Yeah, so I suppose they have just amped everything up, and they're just doing a huge amount of online. So they're still running their graduate fairs, but they're just doing them in an online capacity. They'll do CV workshops, interview workshops, anything to help train a student to, you know, do their best when they do get their interview opportunities, and to make sure that they can get those interview opportunities. We have an alumni network on LinkedIn that we link all of our students in with, and you know, that can help link them in then with employers as well. So it's, you know, still working just as hard, but it's just in an online capacity at this stage. But as again, many of our students are still, they're going on getting their graduate job offers. They just might be, you know, doing a few weeks training and working from home a little bit at the moment, but they're still absolutely getting the job opportunities.
All right. So in relation to that, for you know, like for recent graduates who are looking for employment after graduation, what do they need to prepare? So for example, when you are looking for a new job directly after you finish graduation, is there anything that you need to, you know, prepare yourself for?
Okay, so I mean, number one is that they work hard on their exams and they make sure that they can get the best grade possible. That's what I would focus on first of all, is just making sure that you're getting the best degree that you can and getting all that experience. Make it known to your lecturers that you're seeking a job and the area you're seeking a job in. Again, they might know might know some relevant people seeking someone. As well as that, ask for letters of recommendation, ask for references from your lecturers as well. They are going to have worked with you directly, and any industry experience you have. So not alone do students do their placement year in year 3, where they should absolutely ask for a reference letter, but they also get a lot of direct industry experience as part of their projects as well. And just to be sure to highlight any of that as on their resume, on their CV, any industry experience that they might have, and all of the practical experience and training that they have, you know, done as part of their course. But yeah, it's about, you know, putting yourself out there, making yourself known to the careers office, to the lecturers, just to the general industry, reaching out to the person you did your placement with, letting them know, I'm graduating soon. if any opportunities do come up, I'm very much interested. It's just very much about that they need to let it be known that they're graduating and that they are seeking a job. And look, once you do that, then it can help the opportunities come back to you then.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Karen, and also Ms. Yeni for introducing us to LIT and answering our questions. We very appreciate it. So this is the end of our Q&A session.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And anyone who does have any more questions, please reach out to Yeni on her email address. So yeni@educationireland.my. Yeni is amazing and will help through the entire process of coming to LIT. Thank you very much, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much. So for those in the audience, I would also like to remind you that this EHAF 2020 will hold virtual fair on Friday and Saturday, where you can consult directly with the university representatives, and you can access the virtual fair through event.ehaf.id. And again, thank you, Ms. Karen and Ms. Yeni. Just a reminder, everyone, you can connect with Ms. Yeni through email at yeni@educationireland.my. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating and watching, and see you in our next session with Dundalk Institute of Technology.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.